Hi there, we are here in the Serpentine Gallery. It's a beautiful modern building, a former tea house, and it was designed by the famous designer Zaha Hadid. Inside we have an exhibition talking about the history of the plants and the trees and how we can care and take care of our planet and our forests. Let's go, let's visit, let's explore more to understand nature and to understand design through the nature. Come on with me. The Serpentine Gallery, it's located 5 minutes walk over the Serpentine Bridge. That's over there behind me. And it was established in 1970 to showcase emergent art from the UK. It's a former tea house and it was designed by the famous designer Zaha Hadid. Let's go with me. The branches of this tree grow in Herefordshire, England, has been removed and the trunk has been sawn into planks and air-dried ready for use. These first stages of processing capture the tree when it has been transformed from a living being into an object. This video shows the process of extracting a coring from the tree, a technique used by dendroclimatologists to analyze its rate of growth. Each individual stool in this stack has been produced using a different wood species common to Europe. As trees grow, they store carbon dioxide, and if the wood is used for production rather than for fuel, the carbon dioxide remains held within it. The replication of a single design, here a stepped stool distributed by IKEA in 7 different species of wood, is an experiment into this balance. The mass production of this popular object is an example of production model that assumes constant renewal of the source material and disposability of the item. However, for wood products to be truly sustainable, they need to have a service life that's at least the same length of time that it took for the tree to grow. Every year, thousands of products made from illegally sourced timber are discovered at customs, being ported into the European Union. According to Interpol, this material accounts for 15 to 30% of all global timber trade. The objects on the shelves have been collected in Germany, the Netherlands and Belgium in the last 12 months. They were separated in color-coded blocks that indicate, for example, the object has been made from a protected species or the object has been made from vulnerable species at high risk of extinction. The name of this artwork is On the Resonance of the Forest. The form of these 2 speakers, designed by Formafantasma, has been reduced to the minimum possible required to project sound. Soundboards like these are used in acoustic guitars and pianos, for example. "5 years." The title of the installation 5 years refers to the amount of time it will take for a single tree, specifically one pine tree growing in Central Europe, to reabsorb the same amount of carbon dioxide that will be released by these objects once they are discarded. In an attempt to map the species of wood used in books printed globally, Formafantasma sourced a selection of different copies of Darwin's On the Origin of Species, printed in a number of different countries. Paper from each book was microscopically analyzed by an institute in attempt to identify the relationship between the location of the printed and the origin of the species used for the paper. Those are incredible images captured by the microscope. Now you can see large wood pieces shown at the International Exhibition of 1862 and small wood pieces shown at the Great Exhibition of 1851. Those great exhibitions were some of the first instances of materials, industrial development, and the potential resources of the British Empire being brought together for the public. These seminal moments in the foundation of design thinking and art education were nevertheless inextricably related to the environmental, social, and economic legacies of colonialism. Through these wood samples, you can find trees from plenty of places in the world, from North America to Asia. Can you imagine how stunning and powerful were these trees? The furniture pieces in the Victoria and Albert Museum's storage, shown in this film, were assembled as examples of exceptional craftsmanship and industrial production, conceived as a source of inspiration for the development of a formally and technically sophisticated design culture in Britain. This collection of objects showcases the properties of different woods and the skill of designers and makers. However, European design also had to adapt to reductions in the availability of certain species due to overlogging. Originally initiated in 1970, the Radar Brazil project was a collection of aerial photographs and radar images that, when aligned, aimed to cover an extensive area of the Brazilian rainforest. Its purpose was originally intended to reveal the location of natural resources for economic exploitation, but over time, this documentation has become a useful comparative tool to demonstrate the extensiveness of the Amazon's biomes and, since the project's inception, the spread of deforestation. Displayed on the tables are sets of existing regulations that mention the governance of forests. However, none of these documents have forestry as their focus. Rather, they have incorporated the subject into other, often wide-ranging agreements. This film starts with the appearance of primordial plants on Earth, their evolution into trees, and the subsequent flourishing of human life across the planet. It continues with the global expansion of the timber industry in conjunction with the European imperialist agenda, and its later shift towards the development of sustainable forestry practices and environmental conservation. This another film installation is a social provocation about what kind of techniques and solutions that have been developed to propose a more sustainable production for items that use natural resources. This film has been produced by manipulating a LiDAR scan of an oak forest in Virginia. LiDAR technology, which comes from the terms light detection and ranging, uses lasers to scan and record large surface areas and has often been used in cartography and archaeology. Here, the installation provides an opportunity to consider humans from the point of view of the trees, with a voiceover written by philosopher and botanist Emanuele Coccia. The word cambio, part of the name of the exhibition, is very familiar in Portuguese and Spanish. It comes from the Latin cambium, which means change. It also refers to a membrane around the trees where the wood grows inside. It's a recording of the past of the trees, but indicates growth for the future. It's a major design challenge, finding forms, materials, solutions that look with respect to the past, from which many references come, but also to look to the future, when finding the balance between sustainability and innovation. Vai, tá bom.